Okay, welcome back everybody. So today is a great day because today is the day that you're going to learn how to play Rosanna by Toto. Great guitar work in this song. We'll go through the rhythm guitar, well, the chords that are happening throughout this. And of course, we'll put a big fat spotlight on that great guitar solo that happens in this song. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you like this kind of thing, jump down right now and click subscribe and ring the bell. The bell lets you know every time I drop new content, which I do every single week. All my videos have chapters in them, so you can jump right to the part of the lesson you want to see and bypass what you don't. And if you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I really appreciate that. There's thanks, which is a button right below. It's just like throwing a tip in the tip jar. Or you can join my Patreon page where I post chord charts and tabs for all the lessons that I do on YouTube, like this one. All the links are in the description, so check it out. All right, so Rosanna. So I have to confess, when I was a kid, when this song came out, I guess I would have been 12 or 13, and I thought this song was lame. I thought it was lame. I thought Toto was lame. I thought it was, I don't know, just didn't give it a chance. But it was on the radio forever, and it was on MTV forever, and I would always have to switch it off or go to something else. I just couldn't. It was all over the place. But I have to say, over the years, and just listening again through fresh ears and not being such a dumbass kid, it's a great song. It's an awesome song. And oh my God, the guitar solo is so killer. All these guys that are in this band are just like amazing, amazing musicians. All of them, or most of them maybe, were all like star session players on the LA scene in the late 70s, early 80s. Steve Lukather, the guitar player, and I think Jeff Porcaro, the drummer. Anyway, so great players, great song, and an epic solo. So I decided to sit down with it and listen. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube on this song, so I don't know how unique this one's going to be or whatever, but I'm going to do my version of tutorial on this, and I hope you like it, okay? So tone, for me, what I'm doing to get my guitar tone is, I think it sounds best if you got something that's got a humbucker platform. I'm going to go with a Les Paul, my Les Paul. I'll put all of the settings that I'm using for my gear. It'll be detailed below, but I'm using an OCD full tone overdrive and exotic EP booster to boost my signal in, and I'm actually splitting out stereo. I'm using the Harmonist, which I've talked about in previous videos, the Harmonist PS6, and I'm putting it on detune, which is great. It's like not as harsh as a chorus. Maybe harsh is not the right word. It splits the signal, and it does a thing that's similar to what a chorus pedal does, but it's a little different kind of thing. One is going into my Marshall 50-watt Plexi reissue, and the other one's going into my Deluxe Reverb Tone Master that I've got the attenuator maxed, so it's like it's a cranked Deluxe. Right, so that's sort of my signal path, and a good healthy amount of gain on here on my bridge pickup. So that's what I'm going with on here. All right, so let's talk about the chords, or sort of how the structure of the song is set up. It was really interesting for me to piece that together. So there's basically one sort of chord structure that repeats in two different places, and then there's sort of a bridge section. So there's sort of three, I guess, sections, if you want to call them. So the chords that happen, let's just say when the song opens up, we're in G. I'm going to dial this back just to get a little more clarity. So the first chord is your G. Then it drops down to an F with the G in the top. And I think he actually pulls that middle finger off your G string, so I think that G might also ring open. At least it sounds like it could be that. When I watch him live, it's hard to exactly tell which version of F with a G in it he's using, but So you can do that, or you can do this version, where you have your open G and you just play a normal F. But I think I hear this note. So. That's the sort of groove on your G. Vocals come in, goes to his F. And then it's an E minor, and I hear that D note in there. I know I hear it, I see him play it live. So it could be that. It also could be that version. All of those will work. But that's the structure. It's G, F with the G in it, and then E minor 7 in any of those voices. And then back to G. Now it's going to transition to the exact same chord structure, but it's going to be in F. It's going to be a step down. And how you get there is you link them together by moving from your G. You do 2 punches on your C, down your F. And the vocals, goes up to the first vocal is sung by Steve Lukather, and the second vocal is sung by the other singer, but it's up here. Same sort of melody, but it's higher. But it's interesting because the chords go down, if you will, go down a step, but the vocals go up from where it was sung in G. Thought that was interesting. And then it's the same structure. So if that's your F there, you can also think about your F here. And you can play that F there if you want. So when we move from our G to an F, we want to step down, right? So it's the same thing. We're going to start from our F. We're going to go a step down. And it's a power chord like root, fifth, root. And then to your minor, which in this case is a D minor now. It sounds like a regular D minor to me. So stringing those two together. So there's our chord structure. I wasn't strumming the strums, I think, correct to the record, but just trying to keep that going along. But that's the chords, right? You can let those chords just ring. Maybe we do it up there. Okay. Then we go to our bridge section. So our bridge section is, it's going to move from a G minor. I'm just going to play little triads here. To an F and a B flat. And then from your B flat, you're going to move a fourth across, which is a, what is that? That's an E flat. Play it in any position, right? Or, I don't think it's that one. Everything about this song is power chordy, right? right? So in terms of chords, G minor, F, B flat, E flat, B flat, F. And it does that little horn rhyme. Or something to that effect, right? And then I guess the chorus, it's just moving back across again. So F, B flat, E flat. And that little guitar hit that you hear is just taking that triad, that B flat triad. Here, you're just taking it up an octave. So it's hard to tell exactly what voicings he's using on those chords, but I think that sounds more than good enough to me. Just straight across on those, right? That's all of the chord structures throughout the whole thing, right? It just repeats from there, you know, goes into the keyboard solo, and it's the same thing over the verse. And now musically, a couple things happening on here that I thought were interesting. You know, the vocal line starts with the root. Right? When it's on the G. Rosanna. Rosanna. Then he goes to the F. He does the same thing. So it's starting on the root, moving up the major scale. Right? That's the vocal line at that hook. And musically, a lot of things sort of echo that, you know, even on the guitar, on the keyboard solo, right? It opens with or something like that, right? I'm just approximating on the guitar, but it's right. Here's the root, up and up, right? You know, it's building off of that, which I thought is pretty cool. The guitar solo, you know, will do the same thing, you know, which we'll get into in just a second, but just want to highlight, like, that's musically what's, it's interesting that those things are tying all of it together. Everybody has their shot that's playing an instrument on this, and they're all sort of playing that version of that musical line, which is consistent all the way through, which I thought was kind of cool. Okay, let's talk about the solo now, right? Okay, so I'm gonna crank up the gain a little bit. All right. So the guitar solo comes in after the keyboard solo, and it comes in when it transitions to the F chord. You know, in our format with our verses. What? At that part. Right, and it's going to come in, and like I said, it's going to do the same thing musically, where it sort of climbs and echoes the vocal line a little bit. So anyway, let me run through it real quick. Flubbed a little bit there, but we'll try it again, shall we? A little later. Okay, so the solo is starting on your 4th string, and we're going to start at the 3rd fret, and we're going to climb up to get to our, think of your D-shaped F chord here. We're going to build into that, and then we're going to do some major sort of pentatonic, bendy rock once we get up there. So that's moving from our 3rd fret to our 7th fret. Now on our 3rd string and our 2nd string, right? That part of your D again, or I mean your D-shaped F, I should say. We're going to sneak back into that C note. And we're going to grab now the B string at the 8th fret, right? And then we're going to do a major bend up. Slowing it down, it's like this. Kind of a big stretch to get there, right? Now here's a very cool part, and he does this 2 times during the solo. You're gonna slam your pinky while you've got that bent up. You're gonna add that pinky note on top. Right? I think that's so cool. I like how it sounds when you hammer it on, but I think you have to pick it to make it really stand out. All right, so that's the end of the sort of the first part of the solo. You're just musing around this little F shape down here. All right. Okay, that's the first part. Now the second part is the speedy part. This is a very, very cool little run that he does here. And he moves across from your 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. It's just 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12 is the first part of it. The second part, he's going to... Now, there's a couple of ways to play this. And the consensus on YouTube seems to be, with other great players, and I think I see it live, but it's so hard, he does this so fast, is he goes across first. So you're moving back a fret on your B string, and you're going to slide into from 9 to 10, and then pick 13. Okay? You can also do... It's the same thing. And I was playing with both of it, but I learned it first this way, so I'm going to stick with that. Okay, so that's the first part. We're going to stay on that B string now. And we're going to go 10, 11, 13. So when we think about just the B string, we're going to go... which is kind of interesting. So I suppose if you want to think of it in terms of a scale, I don't know if that's the right word, but you know, he's picking all of these notes. Those are all in it, but on that B string, he sort of takes that apart. Whoop. Anyway, it took me a while to sort of land there. And then when you get to the E string, it's sort of like a reprieve. It's not super hard. You're just gonna do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So the hard part for me anyway was just getting that B string thing right. And then once you're here on your F note, you're going to slide up. And there's that other time that you're going to add that pinky on. Love it. I like getting a little more bluesy on that. Yeah. So let's run through that whole solo again. I'll do it slowly. Just a great piece of work. All right, let's see if I can do this fast though. Pretty close. All right. So I noticed also, let me add something. When I was watching one of the live performances, and I'll link it here. So that's an epic solo. He's played it probably close to that time for however many years it's been, since 1982, that he's playing this live, right? And he's such a phenomenal player. And I think he knows that everybody wants to hear that solo or something very, very close to it. But he's a musician, and he wants to play around with it a little bit too. And on this video that I'm going to link here, he does a really, really cool chromatic thing at the end, which is a little different, just a little different. But I love that ending too. So everything is the same that I can tell usually, you know, once he runs through the first parts of the solo and he gets up here to the run. And instead of doing those 4 notes, just repeating, what he does is he keeps going chromatically up here. So it sounds like this. And finishes it off the same way, right? But I thought that was really, really cool. It was super subtle, but another fun way that you can, you know, tackle the end of the solo. So that is Rosanna by Toto, and the great guitar work of Steve Lukather. So I hope you learned something new today. If you like what you saw, jump down right now and click subscribe and ring that bell. The bell will let you know when I drop new content, which I do every single week. And let me know in the comments what you thought about this. And if there's another song you want me to take on and do a lesson similar, let me know that too. Okay, so until next week, take care, everybody.